The Seattle Seahawks could quickly find at least a temporary replacement for interior defensive lineman Jonathan Hankins. The Seahawks were predicted as the landing spot for Mazi Smith, a 2023 first-round pick, by ESPN.com NFL writer Bill Barnwell in a potential trade with the Dallas Cowboys. Hankins signed a one-year contract worth about $2.1 million, but has been on the reserve/non-football list since the start of training camp while dealing with a back injury. He played all 17 games for the Seahawks in 2024, starting 8, and had 30 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception, and 1 pass defended. The 33-year-old has played 169 NFL games over 12 seasons with the Seahawks, Cowboys, New York Giants, Indianapolis Colts, and Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders. Who is Mazi Smith? Smith was a standout interior lineman at the University of Michigan and a first-team All-Big Ten player in 2022. That led to the Dallas Cowboys picking him with the 26th overall pick of the 2023 NFL Draft. Yet, so far the Cowboys have ruined him. The 6'3", 337-pound defensive tackle has 2 career sacks, 54 tackles, and 7 tackles for loss while playing every game in his 2 seasons with the Cowboys. He started all 17 games a year ago, yet earned just a 34.8 overall grade, 208th out of 220 interior linemen from Pro Football Focus, and a 35.9 run defense grade, 202nd. Plus, as Barnwell noted, Smith played all 3 preseason games for the Cowboys this year, which is seen as a potential red flag and could indicate their willingness to part ways with him. The Cowboys used a round 1 pick on Smith in 2023 in the hopes the nose tackle would be a valuable player in their run defense, but he has been a major disappointment, Barnwell wrote. Dallas has played him regularly in the preseason, which hasn't been the case for its other prominent defensive tackles. Why are the Seahawks linked to Mazi Smith? Smith has 2 more years on his contract, including 2025, which has a cap hit of about $3.6 million according to Over the Cap, but the Cowboys could save about $2 million in cap space by trading him. Barnwell predicted the Seahawks would acquire Smith and a 6th-round pick for just a 5th-round pick in the 2026 draft. He also figured Dallas could further sweeten the pot. The Cowboys might have to kick in some money to get a deal done, Barnwell wrote. Seattle has cap space of about $25 million, but also has Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Uchenna Nwosu on its D-line. That trio, plus Hankins' inevitable return, would mitigate much of the risk of having a suspect 4th player in the 4-3, especially given the massive bargain. Plus, as Barnwell noted, there's the chance for Smith to blossom with a change of scenery, especially by playing for a familiar face that had a hand in helping him become a first-round talent. There's no timeline for veteran Seahawks tackle Jonathan Hankins to return from a back injury, creating a need for help on the interior, Barnwell wrote. Seahawks coach Mike Macdonald worked with Smith when the two were at Michigan in 2021. MICAH Parsons' ongoing contract dispute might be the biggest story in Dallas, but it's not the only questions surrounding one of the Cowboys' biggest stars. CB Trayvon Diggs has been working his way back from off-season knee surgery, culminating in being activated off of the physically unable to perform (PUP) list on Sunday. Now, with his first practice back with the team in the books, Diggs spoke to the media on Monday on how he's feeling. "I think I need a couple more practices just to see where I'm at, just going full speed and things," Diggs said in reply to a question on if he'd be ready for the Cowboys season opener at the division rival Eagles on September 4th. "I feel really, really good, so as far as the repetition and just getting back familiar with the game, I don't know yet. But the more that I practice, we got a break. I'm going to stay here and continue to work and try and make it for the first game." Trayvon Diggs' availability critically important for the Dallas Cowboys. Without Diggs in the lineup, the Cowboys' depth chart is dangerous thin at outside cornerback. Darren Bland is a stud who can create turnovers almost as frequently as Diggs, and he's locked in for the start of the season. Kaiir Elam, a trade acquisition from the Bills this offseason, has put together a good camp. Keeman Hall and Zion Childress man the slot. But third-round rookie Siobhan Revel tore his ACL back in September when he was at East Carolina, and he'll likely start the season on the PUP list. Until he's activated, the Cowboys really only have Diggs, Bland, and Elam on the outside. Even Elam put up some bad film while in Buffalo, enough that the Bills were ready to move on from the former first-rounder. Suffice to say, without Diggs, the Cowboys could be in trouble. But that's all the more reason not to rush him back. If he's not 100% healthy and re-injures himself as a result, the effect would be far more catastrophic than if he missed the first game or two of the season. Diggs may push himself to be ready sooner, but Dallas would be wise to temper that enthusiasm if need be. Trayvon Diggs on what it's like to play in Cowboys DC Matt Eberflus defense. Real comfortable, I like it a lot, Diggs said when asked how he was feeling in Eberflus' scheme. Eberflus is putting me in a lot of positions to make plays. It's a really good system, and I like it a lot. The conditioning mainly, Diggs responded when asked what the biggest challenge he faces in getting his body ready for a game is. It's different, working out with just yourself, and then having to cover someone, chase someone, run after the ball. I feel like that's the main thing. So in practice, I'm making sure I'm always running to the ball, always running, doing extra gases, doing everything I can do be physically conditioned for the game itself. One team is consistently being linked to a potential MICAH Parsons trade if the Dallas Cowboys were to listen to offers. In an appearance on the Pat McAfee Show Wednesday, ESPN reporter Matt Schneidman said he anticipates the Green Bay Packers will have interest in Parsons if he becomes available for trade. However, the Cowboys are not even considering trade offers at present. The Packers may have an outline of what they would offer, but if Jerry Jones isn't listening to legitimate trade offers, I'm not sure that one is technically on the table, Schneidman said. If he does entertain it, from what I've heard, the Packers will be interested and will be in the mix. Schneidman expects that Parsons would cost multiple first-round picks and potentially even a skill position player to acquire if the Cowboys were willing to listen to offers. The Packers were one of 3 teams that have been prominently linked to Parsons since he requested a trade. The team is generally not a major player in the trade market, but there are always exceptions, and Parsons is the sort of franchise-changing piece that the Packers might part with major resources to acquire. For now, the Cowboys are refusing to consider a trade, even though things are clearly not great between the team and the player. Parsons is set to make just over $24 million this season under the 5th-year team option of his rookie contract, but wants a new long-term deal. He has 52.5 sacks through his first 63 games, including 12 in 13 games in 2024.